All right, so real quick, we're just going to talk about what a design brief is. So, a design brief or an engineering design brief is just a simple document, usually about a page at the most, that just sort of talks about what is the design problem that you're facing. So, we've got a sample design brief right here. So, obviously, it's just called a design brief. So, the first thing you're going to see on one of these briefs is the client. Who is this project being made for? So, in this case, for this example brief, it's for the Woodland Junior High engineering program, so our engineering program. And so the client is just who is asking you to design this or solve this problem. So sometimes, not every time, but sometimes you'll have a designer spot. So this is who is making this design. So in the real world, it would be the name of the firm or the individual. Here in school, you're going to be putting in your name because you are the designer. Occasionally, you'll also see something like this, a target audience line. And this is basically who is this being made for? The engineering program may have figured out there is some sort of a problem here, but who is this problem actually a problem for? For example, the problem that we're about to talk about, a robotics problem, would not apply to just regular people at their house because most people don't have a bunch of robotics parts. So occasionally you'll see this line that just says, who is this problem actually a problem for? Because not everybody experiences the same problems. So the next thing that you're going to see, and this will be on all design briefs, is a problem statement. So the problem statement is just, here is the overarching issue that we have discovered. This statement should be fairly concise, fairly simple, and it should not in any way be telling somebody what the solution is. So, for example, the problem statement here is that robotics parts and pieces are constantly getting misplaced. This includes dropped to the floor, placed in the wrong storage container, or just generally lost, leading to a shortage of needed robotics parts. You'll notice that nothing in there suggests a solution. Nothing in there says, well, robotics parts and pieces are constantly getting misplaced, so we need a pick and place machine to sort and put back our robotics pieces. That would be a problem statement that defines the solution in the problem. And that's not what a design brief does. A design brief is just presenting the actual problem. The design statement is, again, a simple statement that sort of gives you the idea of what is our goal? What is our end result supposed to look like? So in this case, Woodland Junior High Engineering Program seeks a method of organization and parts tracking that will prevent materials from being lost. The methods must be used by junior high level students. So in this case, it's just giving you the idea that what we want is some method of organization and tracking that will keep stuff from being lost. And then that second line, that it has to be usable by junior high level students, that's just trying to give the designer an idea for what is sort of the level of the people using the product. You wouldn't give, a nuclear reactor to elementary students, obviously, because they don't know how to use it. Same thing here. We don't want something that's overly complex that the students who actually would have to use it struggle with. So think about that when you're looking at these design statements. This is sort of telling you what is going on, what is needed. The last thing you're going to see is some version of design criteria and constraints. So remember, criteria are those things that your design has to have, and constraints are those limitations that are placed on your design. So real simple for this project, any physical solution, so if the design is a physical object, it has to fit within a 4 foot by 2 foot by 8 foot space. So 4 foot by 2 foot length and width, and then 8 feet high. So that's a physical limitation. If powered, the solution must run off of a single standard wall outlet. So in other words, they don't want anything that's, for example, batteries that might have to be replaced or recharged. They don't want to have to run a special power outlet like you would have to for like a washer dryer, like a 220 volt. They just want it to work off of a single standard plug. The solution should be repairable in-house and not require outside repairmen. So what this is saying is that whatever is designed for it, the students themselves should be able to maintain it and keep it in working order. This is really important later on in life when you learn about how there are products that get made that can't be repaired by the people who own them, and they have to pay for other people to come in. So again, this is just another constraint. The last thing, the budget. So in this case, the budget for constructing this is just $250. So this budget and money in general are usually one of the most common constraints that you're going to find in a design brief. But this is just the basic overlay of what a design brief looks like and what it has in it. Remember, it's just a document that's geared towards giving the designer, you, the information you need to start in on producing something for a client. It's by no means the be all end all, because normally in the design process, you'll have iteration where you design one solution, you talk to your client, you review it, you evaluate it, and then you come back and you work on it again based on their feedback. So always remember, these are not sort of the law of the land, they're more of a guidebook to get you started when you work on your program.